Okay, so we've been doing a sort of narrower shoulder width stance just to get a different angle on it all. Okay, so just bringing the arms up. So just feel that. Just feel as you lift the arms, it just makes your feet press into the ground a bit more. So you just feel the pressure. Yes, imagine you were in the pool and you were pulling the arms up in the water. It would push you down into the floor of the pool, and then this would sort of bring you up. So it's the same thing here. This pushes you down a bit, and this just lets you float up a little bit. So one of the reasons people don't really like this narrower stance is because you just feel a bit more unstable. You don't have that sunk sort of open posture that stabilizes you. But just enjoy that aspect of it, so you just feel a bit wobbly. And just let this coordinate with the breathing. It doesn't really matter whether you breathe in or out here. So as you lift the arms, just feel it sort of tending to do this to you. And so you just lean back just a tiny bit, just to stop that from happening, just to maintain some equilibrium. So you're making little adjustments all the time. As soon as you move a part of your body, your whole body is adjusting in order to maintain central equilibrium. So this is one of our contentions, is that you only really have correct posture when you're reaching out to the other. When you're just the island unto yourself, then you're always stooping forwards a little bit. You just can't help it. So there's always a sense of this. So as soon as you settle back into your posture and sit down, even if the arms are not up, you're reaching out with your heart to this space in front of you. So this exercise just establishes the up and down. So gravity streaming down and you thrusting up against it. So if anything, you feel the gravity stronger as you lift the arms because the arms feel heavy. Yeah. And then here, if anything, you feel the thrust up more when you drop the arms because that allows you to, that releases you a little bit. So it's gravity that's taking the arms down, but it's you feeling that up thrust through yourself. Okay, so now just hands up. So that, that establishes the up and down. So now we want to establish the our own center. So this is more like in and out, open, closed. Yeah. So you just bring the hands in and just feel like a gathering here. And then you just let the hands swell out and just feel an expansion. So here you're drawing into the dantian and breathing in at the same time. Yeah, so there's a pressure, change of pressure, and breathing out. So breathing in. So you're closing into yourself and then you're opening out of yourself. Pulling into the dantian, not really with the muscles, but just with the breathing and then out. So you can also think internal, external. Yeah. So this is like you expanding into the room. So it's like you're filling the space. And then here you're coming into the internal aspect. So opening out into the room, drawing back into yourself. So you're just breathing out into the room, into the belly, out. Yeah, so it's just a meditation. So it's bringing you to a quiet mind and an awareness of inside and outside, internal and external. Yeah, so your energy is breathing. You're opening up and reaching into the world, and then you're closing down and drawing back into yourself. So in the healing Qigong in China, if you've got some serious illness like an incurable cancer, and you come on one of their courses, they get you doing this 8 hours a day for a month. I mean, you're not standing up. They're normally sitting down or lying down. But this is all they do. Because what they know is that illness is just from blocks in the energy. You're not breathing within yourself, but you're also not breathing with the universe, is the way they talk about it. Yeah, so here they say the mind expands into the universe, and then the universe comes back into you. And this is just the best exercise they've come up with for actually getting that proper circulation going between you and the outside. So very, very simple. And my daughter's saying, "Dad, it is so boring." I love boring. And they heal. They have an amazing success rate, especially with cancer. So Ronnie was sort of telling me all about the theory yesterday, because she does the Qigong, the Chinese healing Qigong. And it's all the same. It's all the same as any sort of spiritual work. It's all about quietening the mind, letting the ego dissolve, and just connecting with God. And but it's just a different vocabulary. It's all these things. They're all basically the same thing. They're just, the words are different. So expanding into the universe, contracting into that minute point of the Dantian, expanding out, back in. And just that thing of switching the mind from as large as you can imagine to as small as you can imagine. You think it's quite a range. Yeah, so that just opens you up, opens the energy up. Okay, and now let's just drop the hands down, and now just bring them up again. Again, like you're lifting like a tray or something that's a little bit heavy. So it's helping you down into your feet. Okay, so let's just get into, so normally when we use the word external, we mean, you know, external in a bad way, in the sense of just materialistic and sort of no spirit, no energy. And when we use the word internal, then we mean, you know, the sort of the energetic aspect, the spirited aspect. So now let's just think in terms of internal, just being your inside, if you like. Yeah. So thinking of the internal as a bit more visceral, a bit more of the inside of the body, and thinking of the external as being like the energy body, you know, this thing that John was working on with the wings and everything. So just stand here and just, you can close your eyes and just imagine you're like an angel with those big wings. Yeah, you've got wings sprouting out of your shoulder blades. The tips come up to here, the crests, if you like, and then the tips reach almost down to the ground, and they're behind you. Yeah, obviously. So just have that there as a presence in your awareness. Yeah. And now let's just work the Dantian, just pulling it in and just relaxing, but very gently. Yeah. So just tighten the hands a little bit. Yeah, so again, so we're concentrating on that internal point, but just working the muscles associated with it to give it this visceral presence. It's not just an abstract point. It's not just a point of energy. There's real muscles attached to it. So we've been working on this, just pulling in and just releasing, pulling in and releasing. And now as you pull in, just pull into the Dantian. And then as you release, just come into your wings, just feel the wings behind you. And then, so it's the same as what we were doing before, only instead of it being the universe that you were expanding into, it's just that external aspect of ourselves. And then this is the internal aspect. And this is the external. So into the Dantian, expanding out into your energy body, pulling in, expanding out, in, So just feel the wings. They attach to the shoulder blades and they're quite heavy. They almost feel like, so you have to almost bring the shoulders up a little bit to stop them from dragging you down. And now let's just make the movements really small. So just in and out with the hands, but the same thing, just coming into the dantian and then just expanding into your wings, into the dantian, expanding out. And so when the Chinese do this, it's much more like this. It's very sort of gentle, very sort of minimal. So they're just trying to make sure that you take it into the mind, into that sort of breathing, soft mind, rather than just keep it in the body. So into the wings, back into the dantian, into the wings. So you're just switching really. And then just switch it over. So as you come in now feel the wings. So it's like as you withdraw into your dantian, these two big wings are coming around. So they become very sort of prominent. And then here you're sort of pushing the belly out. So the belly is becoming tight and expanding. And then here drawing the belly in, but it's the wings you're with. And then here contracting your wings, almost drawing them into the shoulder blades and letting your belly expand out. And so we've just switched it over. So it doesn't really matter, you know, how you're breathing, if you like, whether you're breathing natural breathing or reverse breathing. So now I'm with the wings, it's like I've disappeared and I'm just all wing now. And then here I contract the wings and just let my front almost step out of it. Yeah, pulling in, withdrawing, and exposing. So I withdraw myself, and that exposes my energy body. I withdraw my energy body in order to expose myself. Not a bad self, yeah, but just it's what I call the symbolic self. So it's like you, so fine and so well defined that you take on almost symbolic function. You know, you stand for something. You're not just a self. Okay, so now let's just put the hands down again. And now just up and down. So let's just bring the hands up and down like this. So it's a bit more sort of stylized. So just lifting and then drop. So you're just moving the energy within a very small range. So within your Dan Chen area, really, if you think the Dan Chen area is from your navel to the perineum, really. So it's this whole area. And what you're trying to do is just lift the perineum up. So you're just tightening the perineum a little bit and just drawing the energy up as high as the navel, and then just press it down again. Yeah. So remember, to pull up here, we tighten the perineum, we tighten the anus, pull up the rectum, and then just relax all that to let it down again. Yeah, so this is just getting that energy down there, moving a bit, but it's also sort of massaging the spine, the lower spine. So as you tighten those internal muscles to draw the energy up, your spine gets a bit of a squeeze. So just feel that, and then everything sort of relaxes. Just drawing up and then letting it down again. Yeah, so here, as you tighten the anus and pull up the rectum, the legs just naturally straighten a bit. So you really feel your legs pressing into the outside edges, trying to push you up. So you really have to struggle to stay sunk so that you don't just pop up. So the legs are working against the ground and against your own sinking, and then they just relax here. So here, the tightening here straightens the legs a little bit, and then the relaxation lets them bend. So just feel that, but try and keep the movement up and down to a minimum with your sinking. So, and then just relax. And just feel those. It's almost like you feel as though you're wearing a corset. You have to use your imagination because not many of us has worn them, but it's like one of those weight training belts, you know, with a really wide back that protect the back. So it's these internal muscles just give you like a natural belt that stops the back from becoming too sway and just gives tone to the belly, which is exactly what we want. So we want the belly to have real tone, but without pulling it in. So we don't want to become like Pilates teachers who they have really trim figures and they look great, but they're really tense here. Yeah, so we want to stay relaxed. So just feel if you relax here, yeah, then your tail goes back and your belly flops out. Yeah. So we want to be relaxed here, but to have tone in this area so that the tail can drop down and the belly can draw in. But we don't want that to compromise the relaxation here. So this is why it's always so complicated, because you think you've got it right and you realize you've just introduced another tension in order to get rid of a different one. So to actually really get it right, everything has to change. So just pulling. So just think of just pulling up your bum, tightening the buttocks if you want. So you want to get it more and more local. It's the perineum really, but it's difficult to feel the perineum. So just pulling up, like you're drawing something up inside yourself, up to the navel, and then you just let it down. Yeah, so slowly the lower back becomes less and less curved, flatter, if you like, at the back. The min meng becomes a little bit more pronounced. The belly just holds itself. It becomes tidy and sort of smaller. And just feel the only reason it wasn't like that to start with is because our minds were slack. We just have these lazy, spoilt minds. So this is just disciplining the mind. Okay. And now let's just bring the hands to a low sort of ward off. So the palms are sort of facing, looking at the Dan chair. And now just feel, just feel gravity sort of tugging at your skin. So it's trying to sort of almost skin you. Imagine you're a snake. So gravity is trying to pull your skin off, and the earth is trying to push you out of it. So there's almost a sense of something in you tearing, rubbing against these sensitive surfaces. So it becomes almost painful, not on the legs, but on the whole body. Okay, and now let's just try just a circuit. So just pulling the perineum, pulling up the anus and just out and down the outside. Yeah, so just up and down. So it's just like what we were doing here. This was just up and down. Now we're sort of taking it more like this. Yeah, so just up the middle. And then just feel the down on the outside. So the inside is coming up all the time, and the outside is coming down all the time, but you're just rotating. So up, and you can take it all the way to the top of the head, all the way down to the ground, but just start off small, start off modest and let it build up. Otherwise it doesn't quite come from the right place. So this is like a circulation that's going on in the dantian. And gradually it expands to include the whole body. So tightening the perineum. So this is like the external, which just feels very energetic. And then the internal now has quite a muscular quality. Yeah, so if you like, we're looking at the external aspect of the internal and the internal aspect of the external. So this is you really sort of tightening up, you're doing something. And then here you're just relaxing and just feeling the softness around you. This is the hardness inside. And then this is the softness outside. And then let's just reduce it now. So now just make them gradually smaller. Yeah, so once you set something in motion that's strong, it's difficult to know how to stop. Because if you just stop, then a lot of the energy just dribbles away. So you have to bring it back to some sort of closure. So that you don't leak. And then just hands on the dantian. So just feel it all now. So the dantian here, where the hands are. So putting the hands on the dantian, you instantly just get the mind there. So wherever you touch, the mind tends to go. Wherever you are touched, the mind tends to go. So the focus is on the dantian. Yeah. But just feel how when you focus with the mind, so it's like the focus is like a convergence, sorry. So you're converging on a point. Now, if you just project that backwards, then the back of that is actually diverging. Yeah. So as I'm focusing on this point of my dantian, the back of me is actually diverging. It's expanding outwards and back. John used to call it the iceberg. Yeah. So when you're focusing on the tip of the iceberg, your mind is with that point, but the back of your mind, if you like, is with the bottom of the iceberg that's beneath the water, or here, your wings. Yeah. So by focusing on my dantian with my sort of the mind that I normally use to focus, it actually opens up another part of my mind that can actually dwell in this larger energetic aspect of myself. So I'm focusing on the dantian, but I'm feeling my wings. Yeah. So if you sort of, if you see someone studying, someone sitting at their desk and they're really engrossed in what they're doing, they just emanate. It's like a cocoon, it's like a bubble is around them. So there's something is expanding out of them at the same time that they're actually focusing in. This is what we want with our own concentration, to be very much aware of both scales, if you like, that close, minute, focused scale and the unfocused. So the more you focus on the inside, the more you open up to the outside. So this is a Taoist structure. Okay. And now let's just get some circuits going in the legs. So, when we're standing, we've got these three joints in the legs: the hips, the knees, and the ankles. So the hips and the ankles break backwards. Yeah. So here there's a sense of something pushing through, and the same with the ankle, something pushes through from the front, but the knee breaks forwards. Yeah. So you can see that. So, so now let's just get just a circuit, just going in this part of the leg. So like a circle. So I'm going to bring the energy up the front in order to get it to come in here and then down the back and through the knee. So I want this to break this way, but the knee to break this way. Yeah. So we're just looking at turning, if you like, but just trying to get it really soft and energetic. So just let yourself turn this way a little bit. Yeah. So I'm turning to my left, but really feel that you're turning. This is one of the things we have to be really careful, is that we don't willfully do something. We do it because we're forced to do it. So there's almost a sense that someone has come up to you and they've just put their fingers here and they're just pressing gently to make you turn. Yeah. So it's not me that's doing this. It's me that's just following, allowing myself to be moved. Yeah. So I just let this break here. Now, as it breaks, just feel the energy coming through and out of the back, and then turn back. So the energy is coming out and dropping. Yeah. So it's coming out and dropping. And now to get it to change direction and start coming forwards to come through the knee, I just turn back. So I'm turning this way to let it through. And then I just softly just turn back and just let it come back through the knee. And then to get it to change direction, I just change direction. So I come through here. And then, so you're just getting a circle passing through this point and then the knee that's coming up the thigh and down the hamstring, just by turning my waist. So I'm using the turning to establish a circuit of energy. So I can't turn with my normal mind, because our normal mind is always ignoring energy, pretending it doesn't exist. Yeah, so here I want to feel it. I'm not sure whether it's me moving the energy or the energy that's moving me. If you can get to that point, then that's a sign that it's correct. Yeah, so I'm breaking here. And then I just allow the knee to break forward. Something is passing through the knee and coming out the front and up. And then something is coming through here and out of my sacroiliac, or out here a bit if you want, and then down. Yeah, so it's very simple. But just see how well you can feel it, how well you can see it in your mind's eye, and then how well you can feel it and how well you can become it. So a lot of people, they don't like energy work. They always say, oh, it's only in the mind. It's all psychosomatic, yeah. But of course, you know, it is. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to sort of train the mind to be with energy so that when I use my mind, energy is exposed, energy comes out and shows itself rather than energy fleeing, because this hard, rational ego has sort of sent it on its way. So, whoa, and here, one. So it just or everything that we do relies on syncing. So you have to be able to just keep yourself under constant pressure with gravity. Otherwise, there'll be no energy. All the energy will just be sort of internally, it'll be more like anxiety, you know. So, whoa. And now let's just try on the other side. It's the same thing. So just imagine you've got something coming towards you, and it's forcing you to turn. So again, you're just relaxing. The more you can just relax the joints, the more you'll feel it. So turning this way a little bit, and then you just turn back to get the energy to come forwards through the knee, and then turn this way to get it to come through here again. Yeah, so there's always one side that is difficult. It's actually best to start with that one, yeah? Whoa. So energy starts off in the mind and ends up in the body. Hmm. Yeah, so you're yielding, you're responding to something that is outside you. You're responding to this flow of energy. So the energy's coming in, that forces me to turn. And then if I want the energy to come back, I have to turn this way. And then, whoa. So the difficulty with any internal work is how to stop it from just becoming some sort of masturbatory self-engrossment. Yeah. So you have to have an external quality that is actually that you're responding to. You're responding to the other. You're not just doing something for yourself. Yeah. So what? Ooh. Okay. And now let's try this one again, but now just get the lower leg going as well. So if you think, so here, I've got something coming in here and out and down and then through the knee and back. So there's like a circuit here, which we've just been working on. And now what we're going to do is just extend it and enclose the lower leg as well by making it more like a figure of 8. So something is going to come in here, down, through the knee, but instead of coming up, it's going to go down the shin, through the ankle, back out, up the calf, through the knee, and back here. Yeah. So it's basically you're just enclosing your figure of 8 in your leg in a figure of 8 with the knee at the apex. Yeah. So let's just try that. So you just yield here as before, then bring the energy through the knee, but then just let it drop and come back through the ankle. It's the ankle that's important because we tend to neglect it. Yeah. Through the ankle, and then I bring it up the calf muscle, through the knee, and back through here. Yeah, so you're just turning, just changing the direction of the turn in order to change the direction of the energy. To get the energy coming in, I turn this way, and then to get the energy coming back through the knee, I turn this way. Yeah. So you've just got a very sort of gentle figure of 8 through the leg that's incorporating the lower leg now. Whoa. So just feel the ankle. So just feel it really sort of bend, and you almost fall down into the ground a bit. And now just feel the calf muscle, because the calf muscle has this sort of contracting, sucking quality. And it's like it's wanting to suck the energy up towards the knee anyway. Yeah? And then in here. And then down through the knee, down the shin, back through the ankle, and then just use the calf muscle to suck the energy up, send it back out through the knee, and then in through here. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, and now this side. So just through here, down the hamstring, through the knee, down the shin, through the ankle, up the calf, through the knee, up the thigh, into here, down the hamstring. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 2, 4. Ooh. Yeah, so once you've set it up, once you've set up the circuit, you just want to sort of reduce the movements so that it's more sort of the internal muscles that are being used to drag this energy along, the same way we use the tightening here to pull the energy up. Yeah, so it becomes more sort of like an internal muscular work. So it's, you're sort of really sort of, so very much like two forces working against each other. And then you just have to relax the structure a little bit. So you know, so the structure is just there to get the thing going, so that you have something to work with. And then there should come a point where you just let it go, and you're just going for it. 1, 2. Ooh. Okay, so now let's just come back to here. Let's just try a few more up and downs. But again, just, you know, from the sort of, yeah, so we normally work the dantian by sort of just pulling it in here, but you can, now we're sort of doing it more by sort of pulling up here and then relaxing that. Yeah. So it's still the dantian, if you like, because the perineum is part of the container that holds the dantian. So I'm pulling up that, and then I just relax it. Pull up. And if you can, just get that feeling that it's pulled all the way to the crown of the head. And then down, let it just drop down. And then pull up again. Down. Pull up. Down. And now just standing and just really feeling your skin really being pulled down around you and your legs straightening to thrust you up through it. Yeah. So it's like these two planes are shearing against each other, and it's sort of sensitive and painful. And then let's just try the open closed. Yeah? So here, connecting to the outside, and then just coming inside. Expanding, and then contracting. And now let's just come into this. So, imagine you're seated and you're meditating. Yeah? And just you now outside and inside, but just with the breath. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter which one you do. So you can breathe in and just imagine you're expanding out into the world. And then as you breathe out, just feel everything collapsing and you actually coming back to the center. Breathing in, connecting to the outside. Breathing out, coming back inside. Breathing in, outside. Breathing out, inside. So the Chinese just think, for the outside, they just think universe. It's funny hearing them say that word. And then inside is just coming back to the self. Expanding, feeling everything, the expanse of the universe, and then coming back inside the tiniest spot imaginable. Expanding out, back in. So it cleans your energy. And now let's just bring the hands up into prayer posture and just step up. So now, like attention, but just with the hands here. So it's more like a dedicatory pose. You're sort of dedicating the energy. So the hands are sending something up the fingers as gravity is dragging you down. Yeah, so just sort of relax the legs until you're almost wobbling. So especially if you close your eyes, you should really feel yourself swaying. You're not stiff and locked. You just enjoy that. Yeah, so physically you're on the brink of collapse. Emotionally, you're on the verge of tears. Yeah, so it's like something in you is just ready to break. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's call it a day.